Hi, in this video I'm going to give you some advice when you're trying to get your Office 365 apps to work on a mobile device. Perhaps it's your personal phone or maybe a personal mobile device like a tablet, an iPad, or a Surface. I have to give this as just advice. OPS cannot support all the different personal devices that the employees may have. And so this is just some tips, some advice. I have an iPhone, so I can demonstrate on that, but yours may be a little bit different. What I'm going to start with is what you would want to start with by going into your web browser. I'm using Safari, so I'm going to click on Safari, and I'm going to go to the login page for Office 365, login.microsoftonline.com. You'll use the same username that you use at work. Remember that you have to use the @ops.org after it to connect to your OPS account, and then the same password that you use with the network. Remember to never let it keep you signed in. So I'm going to sign in. And part of your licensing is it allows you to download this for free for 5 personal devices. Now typically these apps are not going to cost, so these are going to be free anyways. But if you look at mine, I'm going to bring this up just a little bit. At the bottom it says that these are the apps that I could try to download for my iPhone. I may not need all of these apps, but there's a couple that I do want. Now there's a couple things that I have to warn you about depending on the style of phone or mobile device that you're downloading it on. It may tell you that it's not capable. For example, I tried to download OneNote and it told me that my operating system that I had on my iPhone was too old. So I'd have to update that operating system if I wanted to be able to download that. It may be that the model of your phone is too old to support some of these apps. It will warn you if that's something that you have trouble with. Just as a quick overview, what I have here, the Office Mobile would give me the rights to edit Word, PowerPoint, and Excel documents. OneNote would allow me to capture some of my notes. OWA stands for Office Web App. That's where you can find your email, your contacts, and your calendar all in one stop. Eventually, when we move to groups, you can even locate your groups inside there. That's what I'm going to model today. Down the road, we might use Lync, where you can connect in video conferences. And then OneDrive for Business is where I can find any of the files that I've uploaded and shared inside my OneDrive account. The one that I'm going to use today is the Office Web App, the OWA. It's going to direct me straight into the Apple Store, and I would download this and use my Apple ID to bring it in. I've already done that, so I'm going to jump over and show you how to get these set up and give you some tips. Remember, yours might be different on your device, so this is just advice. I have not been able to test this on every possible device. So I'm going to go find where that downloaded. I'm going to open up OWA. Remember, that stands for Office Web App. And this is one of the ways you can check your email, calendar, and contacts. I'm going to show you a second way. I prefer this one because it puts everything in one spot. It warns you that you have to have the latest version of Office 365, which OPS gives you that as part of your account. So I'll press Continue. And then there's some important vocabulary that you need to know when you're using your device to get this set up. If they ask you for the email address, that is going to be your first name dot last name at ops.org. If it asks you for the username, it's going to be that elogin at ops.org. So there's a difference between your email address and username. Now I say that, but then I've ran across some people that have different phones, and when they use their apps and try to put those in, sometimes when it asks for the username, they truly want your email address. So if you run into the settings not setting up for you correctly, maybe play around with that. I usually try it the way that it shows first, and if it doesn't work, then I'll go back and try it the other way. So this one's asking me specifically for my email address, so I'm going to try that first. And then this password is going to be the exact same password that I use for Office 365. And for privacy reasons, I'm not letting you see that because it just does show up as I type in it. And I'm going to press Done and sign in. Now at any point, if it ever asks you to go to an advanced setting, we're going to choose that advanced setting so that we can put in the server. It says at the bottom that it's trying to find my server, but from experience, I know that it's not going to locate that. And so I'm going to give you the server that you're going to use for all of the different apps. And it's important because sometimes it looks like it's connecting, and then you'll get this little button that says like advanced settings or advanced. It just depends on what app and what phone you're trying to download this to. And that's where you need to pop in the server. So here I see try again or advanced. So I'm going to go into advanced because I know they couldn't find my server. They remember my email address and my password, but now they're asking for the username. And I'm going to give them that because I want to give them as much help as possible. And this might be why it's not connecting. So I'm going to use that e-login and remember to put @ops.org behind it. And then the domain I'm going to keep empty, but the server is really important. For all of these apps, the server is going to be outlook.office365.com. So outlook.office365.com. If it asks for the SSL, I'm going to keep that connected. I'll press done and click sign in. It might take a little bit of time depending on where you are in your Wi-Fi network. And it says welcome. So that means that I've connected correctly. Now remember, if you have trouble with this, I'm sorry I can't help you with all the different devices. Go back through the steps, make sure that you use your email where it asks for the email, username where it asks for the username, the correct password that you use with the network, and that you put in that server, outlook.office365.com. If you run across an app that still isn't connecting, maybe try your username where the email address is, or your email where the username is. And I'm just going through this little kind of setup, and then it says that I can go to my inbox. What I do like about the Office web app is that from this area I can check my messages. I can also click down in this bottom button and choose a quick view. And this allows me to move from my Outlook email to my people to my calendar. I can swipe over further if I belong to any groups in the future. I can look at those groups and what the conversation is going on there. I like this because it connects it all in one place. Now another option is you could set up the native application on your phone to read to the mail, and then your native calendar and your contacts. So when I click on this mail button right here, you can see that there's an OPS Outlook, and I have a little server failed, but I could jump over to OPS Outlook and see my emails. To get that set up, you don't download an app. You go into the settings of your phone. And again, I have an iPhone, so I can show you this. It might be a little bit different on yours. I'm going to select Mail, Contacts, and Calendars. And my OPS Outlook account right here, I'm going to delete this account and walk you through how I got this set up. So when you go into the settings for Mail, Contacts, and Calendars, you select Add Account. And this is kind of odd, but you're actually going to choose Exchange, not the Outlook. So we're selecting Exchange. It's asking for my email, so I'm going to type in my email address. It's asking for my password, so I'm going to use the same password that I use when I'm logging into email. And then in the description, I can change this to something that would make more sense to me. So what I'm going to use is OPS. I could use email. I'm going to put in Outlook. And press Next at the top. It's taking some time to verify. Remember, if it doesn't connect, it might be that I need to put in the server eventually. So then they give me some more options. There's that server. I'm going to put in the same outlook.office365.com. The domain I keep empty. The username is required, and again, it's that e-login. And I always have to remember to do my @ops.org. And then my password already populated in there, so if I typed it correctly the first time, it should be good. I'll press next, and it's going to verify to make the connection. Once it's connected, I can determine, do I want my mails synced here, my calendars, reminders, my notes. And in Outlook, really the only thing that's going to come through here is going to be your mail and calendars and possibly your contacts. There's not reminders and notes. So I can turn off those reminders and notes. You can turn on your contacts if you want. I don't have mine turned on. I'm going to select Save. It's going to add the account. And then I'm done in the settings area, so I can go back and click on my mail client. And it's finding my Yahoo account at this time. So I'm going to go back and select OPS Outlook. And there's my emails. If I went out of this and went into my calendar, it's giving me little reminders here. If I went into my calendar, then it's going to start showing me things that are listed on my calendar in Outlook. So those are two ways that you can try your email. Choose which one works best for you. And then there's other apps that you can download like Yammer, Office Mobile, OneDrive for Business. And when I have trouble with something, I go to YouTube and I look to see, did anybody else with my exact same type of phone, same style, create a video on how to do this. So I searched how to set up Office 365 apps on an iPhone, and my iPhone is a 4S. So I'm going to specifically type that in. And here's a video on how to set up Office 365 email on an iPhone. It covers how to set it up using the Mail app and the OWA app, the same thing that I just showed you. Maybe you don't have an iPhone. Maybe you have an Android phone. You could type in what style. And here's set up an Android phone for Office 365. Set up Microsoft Office 365 on your Android mobile phone. Or maybe you have a Windows device. So you'll want to search and see, did somebody create one for your specific phone that you have? Again, OPS can't help you with all these different mobile devices, so it's kind of playing around with it. Some key things I want you to remember: not all apps will work on your phone. It depends on your style and the age of your phone. If they ask you for your username, use that elogin@ops.org. If they ask you for your password, use your network password. With all of these apps, when you change your network password, you're going to have to change them on your phone then. If they ask you for your email address, put in your firstname.lastname@ops.org. And whenever there's a chance to put in the server, it might be hiding under an advanced setting, you'll use outlook.office365.com. And then you kind of have to play around with those usernames and email addresses. When I couldn't get into OneDrive, I might go back and put in my email address where it asks for my username and see if I can get in that way. So good luck playing, troubleshooting. Again, use YouTube to try and help yourself through. I hope you enjoyed this. Look for more tutorials for Office 365. Have a great day.